Hoje nós estamos aqui com um cara que tem uma profissão interessantíssima. Ele é um gamer profissional, ele vive de jogar videogames e vive há muito bem e há bastante tempo já. É o Johnathan Wendel, mais conhecido como Fatal1ty. E para entrevistar o Fatal1ty, a gente trouxe aqui também, convidou o Fernando Souza Filho, editor da revista EGW, Master Gamer e também fã de futebol, aqui como o Johnathan. Jonathan, please explain to our readers. No, explain to our audience how do you make a living playing games?
Well, for me, making a living playing video games really came from just going to tournaments. They big sponsors come in and sponsor the event. Just kind of like a tennis match. Tennis tournaments where you have like 64 people or 120 people are in the tournament in a bracket, all the way down to the final two, and then I would win the finals and win the big purse. I kind of make it. It's kind of like mixed martial arts where it's one-on-one. You play against another person one-on-one, and you have strengths and weaknesses, and so do I. So my goal is to attack you where you're weak. And I've been able to study my opponents around the globe, from Europe to Asia to America, and beat these people in the virtual world of gaming.
Well, when did you first start? When did you first notice that you could make a living or make money doing that? How old were you?
Well, I was 18 years old. I went to Texas. I had like $500 in my bank account, and I decided to drive to Texas. A friend told me I was really good, and I just wanted to see how I would do, and I ended up winning $4,000 US.
Oh, wow, fantastic!
My first weekend playing video games, and then after that, I started getting sponsored to travel around the world to play, and I ended up making a little over $100,000 my first year as a professional gamer.
Over $100,000 when you were 18, 19?
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Doing what I love, just playing games.
What games were you playing at the time?
Well, you remember the game Quake 3?
Sure.
And then I went on to play a lot of different games, Doom 3, Unreal Tournament, Painkiller.
Did you decide to become a pro after the CPL 1999 or before that?
Well, I wanted to go down there and see how I would do. So I made a handshake deal with my dad. I'm going to go to this one tournament. I'm going to train for 3 months. So I was training all summer of '99 to train for that first tournament. And if I didn't win any money, I was going to quit and go full-time school and full-time work and start my career in life. But I went down there and I won that $4 grand, and shortly after that I got invited to go to Sweden to represent USA, and I won that tournament in Sweden. I got sponsored, and then I went on my way of my career in gaming.
How do you use your physical training for having those skills in gaming?
Well, I think it comes from playing sports my whole life. I played baseball, football, hockey, tennis, golf, a lot of sports that require soccer I play now.
Yeah.
This was actually my first year playing in soccer league in the U.S. But I just all the skills and training and hand-eye coordination I learned from playing sports carry over to the game very well. So I'm able to be very fast in this world.
So people think that, this guy just plays video games, say he hates sports, stays at home the whole day long, eating potato chips and drinking Coca-Cola, and it's not the case at all.
Well, not in the case for me. And I think a lot of the top pro gamers, like the very top, they come from a competitive background. So, we are competitors. We want to win at all costs. We will train and focus and practice and practice and practice. So
how much do you practice to become a top pro gamer?
Well, you're
how many hours per day?
When I'm training for World Championship, I would train 8 hours a day.
8 hours?
Yeah. So I would wake up at 12 o'clock. I'd play for 4 hours, and then I would go on to go run 2-3 miles outside to stay somewhat fit and have some stamina and energy. And then I would go back and play another 4 hours before the end of the night.
Okay.
And then I repeat this every day for a long time. But like I said, the similarities of MMA is I had like 5 guys fly into my home in Missouri, and each player is a defensive guy, offensive, strategic, crazy, and then really good. So I play against all these different styles of players. It helps me train for the World Championship because when you're playing against the best player in the world, he's going to be good at every category. So you have to be able to detect, like, oh, he's going defensive. I need to do this now. So when you pick up this information in the game, or like even like a fighter MMA, he's like, oh, he's weak, I need to attack. So the same thing in the video game world is I'm doing the same thing.
In a game like the Quake 3,
yeah,
for example, do you feel that you have a better performance, like the eye coordination, the quick reflexes, because of your physical training?
I think it comes from playing sports. I think my hand-eye coordination comes from playing sports my whole life, always training my reflexes and so forth. But you still need to practice the game. But my whole life I grew up playing sports all day, and then at nighttime I was so competitive that I wanted to play PC games. And the cool thing about PC games, when the internet came out, when you're training like any sport, like football or whatever, you're only going to get the best training you can get in your city.
Sure.
Right? Well, when the internet came out,
you can play with
everybody
in the world. Yes.
So you get to play against the best players at all times and take your game to another level.
So this the level of pro gamers, of the best gamers, became so high so fast because you had to you were playing with everyone else in the world. How do you feel the PC games progressed from when you first started playing, I don't know, Quake, Doom or Quake, and now that's hyper realistic? Do you feel that we gained something, or we lost something too?
I think we actually lost something. You know, I think the games like Quake and Doom and these really fast, like Painkiller, these really fast games, allowed for a huge skill gap. You know, massive skill. Like you know, there's so much skill in like a game like Quake and Painkiller and Doom. It's because it's so fast. You're able to abuse a guy over and over and over again, right? It's like saying, I'm going to go play football for the national USA team, you know, and play against Brazil. I mean, like, I'm not going to, even if I trained for 5 years, I would still not be nowhere near as good as these guys, you know? The same thing in Quake. When you're playing Quake or Painkiller, the skills we have from those games are very fast. So you look at like Call of Duty or Battlefield, these games are much slower. Mm-hmm. So it allows for not as much creativity. So when you're playing a faster game, there's a lot more chances of creativity and to use my hand-eye coordination to my advantage.
You don't have so much fun playing the new games as you had playing the old games.
Well, I like the older games more. Like Painkiller is probably my most favorite game ever.
What about this next gen, like the PS4 and Xbox One? Do you feel any difference between this generation now and the older one for playing?
Well,
I mean, the console's the console.
They're PCs now, right? Like the PS4 and the Xbox One, they're technically PCs. Do you feel is it completely different for you to play on a console?
For
or play
sure.
on
I mean,
PC?
What you can do with a mouse and keyboard trumps every control in the world. You know, you cannot. What you can do on a mouse and keyboard, you can do it faster and quicker and smoother and more precise. Even the graphics and everything is better on the PC. For me, I'm a hardcore PC gamer, you know, but I do play console games. I mean, there is some fun games to play on the controller and sit back in my couch and like, hey, I'm playing the game. Okay. But if you want to play like the most hardcore games today, which offer the most money for prize money and everything, it's all on PC.
Which are the games paying more money now for pro gamers?
PC.
No, but what games?
Oh, well, Dota 2, League of Legends, you know, there's some money for StarCraft still a little bit.
What kind of money we're talking about?
Oh, Dota 2 just gave away $10 million.
$10 million?
Yeah.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, so, and then League of Legends gave away like $5 million. So you look at esports and gaming, PC gaming's the Premier League. It's #1.
Are you still competing professionally all the time as much as you used to?
Well, I still play a lot. I'm not competing in tournaments.
You're not competing anymore?
I just do exhibitions where I travel around and play with fans and work on my game and so forth.
This is I saw you play once at E3 in Los Angeles,
yeah.
And I was day after day I was seeing you play a lot. Anybody could play you, and yeah. if anybody could beat you, they would get prizes and stuff like that.
A computer or money or whatever.
Yeah. And you were playing for, I don't know, how many hours per day?
Well, at that event, I'm probably playing, you know, 4 to 6 hours a day. But I play for an hour, take a break, play for an hour, take a break, and you know, people line up around the booth to play me. So even today, people still love playing against me. I went down to Fortaleza for the Santa Festival, and tons of gamers want to play with me and watch me play. So
anybody beat you?
No.
Come on.
Yeah, I mean it's very hard. Like I said, like in these games, you know, I have so much experience and knowledge. So even when a new game comes out, a new shooter, I'm still really good. You know, I just it's something like riding a bicycle.
How hard was to set that Guinness World Record like 5 years ago in Denmark?
Yeah, in Denmark, yeah.
How hard was that?
Very easy. It's, I don't know how to say it. It's like I said, it's something I do naturally. So it's not like I have to train for it or anything. You know, I trained a couple games to see how I would do, and I was only getting like 400 and something kills. But then something clicked. I was like, oh, I could do this and maybe get some more frags in a shorter time. And then I got 672.
Yeah.
So a lot of frags in 1 hour, but you know, I've probably fragged or killed 6 million people online. You know, so you know, 600 is nothing.
You're not counting. You're not counting. Yeah. Tell us a little about your business, because you're one of the. I'm sure that you're the most well-known pro gamer out there, and you turned that into I'm sure it's a profitable business with hardware. Tell us a little about that.
So I started my company in 2002, right before I was being launched on MTV True Life I'm a Gamer, and I became a world champion at Unreal Tournament 2003. And I decided, well, I'm getting famous. You know, for a while I didn't even know I was famous. I was just like, some friend told me like, everyone knows your name, and I'm like, no way. And so then I started to realize this. I was like, well, maybe I should create a company or do something with this. And then I was like, well, it'd be kind of cool as a gamer to make products for gamers. And me like living in the battlefield and playing the games, I know some things that a suit would not know, you know? So me being kind of a specialist, I decided to make this big mouse pad. And I made this mouse pad because it took the pressure off my wrist and allowed me to game more hours. And it actually allowed me to be more precise in the game because I have a bigger surface, so I was able to use a lower sensitivity. And this allowed me to hit like really far shots. And then I basically start working with manufacturers, you know, companies that want to have a brand for gamers. They'll want to license my brand. So I grant a license to 2 different companies right now, Creative Labs and ASRock Technology, and we make products together. So I work with the engineers and designers, like picking the fabric of the headphones, or even the removable microphone was my idea. And then with the motherboards we sell now too, you know, creating the Fatal1ty mouse port so people can take a little more control of their frequency rate. It's very technical stuff. And you know, just making sure that when people go to the store and they look on the shelf, they're like, oh, Fatal1ty, oh, it's for gaming. So
you're involved creatively too. You're not just licensing your brand. You're involved in how the products come out.
Yes, you have to be, because most people don't know what they're gonna make. So they know they're gonna make something specific, but they like, how can we make it for the gamer? You know, I come in and I give that input, and you know, I'm always looking for opportunities to license products for gamers. So what I like to see is, you know, when you think Nike, you think sporting goods. When you think Fatal1ty, you think gaming goods. So my goal is to build Fatal1ty up, so when people go to the store and they look on the shelf, they see Fatal1ty, they know it's for gaming.
In Brazil, can a Brazilian gamer buy one of your products here in Brazil?
Yes. You know, Geek Store, I just did a big promotion of Fortaleza with them. They sell all my Fatal1ty motherboards there.
Okay.
So if you're going to build a computer for your first time, or build a fast custom computer, you would start with a motherboard. So a Fatal1ty motherboard would be perfect for this.
Okay.
Have you ever thought on developing your own game?
You know, I would love to make my own game. I think it's very hard to get the VC money to do all this. I think my opportunities right now is I'm getting hired by companies to consult with me and to make games. So I will be working with probably some game publishers that you know, consulting-wise, creating some games. But I think I need to build my credibility up in that scene too. You know, they know I'm a great gamer, but I need to show them I have great ideas and great input. And if I get enough seniority with the VCs that they're like, we should work with Fatal1ty on making a game, then then I'll be in that position. But right now, I'm looking forward to get my feet wet with consulting and that
you get more experience, you know, dealing with
the whole team, you know, everything.
Cool.
How do you see? What's your vision for the future of games in general and of pro games specifically?
Well,
10 years from now, where will we be?
10 years from now, esports will be one of the biggest attractions globally. It already is exploding today, and it's becoming more and more of a phenomenon every day. I've been preaching it since 1999 and 2000. You know, every interview I do, I talk about how big esports is going to be, how exciting it is, how there's no language barrier, everyone can play from their home.
And now everybody can watch at Twitch, and now you have more. All the kids are following channels on YouTube where they can see the people playing, and so it's just going bigger and bigger.
I see it becoming more of a professional league. You know, eventually everyone's going to need to collaborate to work together to create a professional league. I think in 10 years from now, you'll see a lot more professional gamers than today. It's growing constantly, and there's so many different ways to make money in gaming.
Are you optimistic about things like the Oculus VR and like all these virtual reality things that the PlayStation has one coming? What's the name? It's
Orpheus, right?
Orpheus.
Project Orpheus.
Project Orpheus, and all this kind of virtual reality rigs.
3D.
How do you feel about that?
Well, the Oculus Rift, I've actually had experience of trying at E3 this year. And I got to play all the games on it. It actually really is amazing. Just to, you know, to move your head around, and like I'll be in a cockpit flying a jet, and I'm like look behind my seat, and you know, when you're playing like, you know, Battlefield 4 and you're flying a jet, well, imagine that there's no limit of your view. It's like real. It's like, you know,
you look up, you see the sky.
Oh, he's there. I need to get to him, you know, and you know, I need to get on his tail and shoot him down. So there's a lot of cool situations in the game. I played one game where there's an alien that came and grabbed it over my head, and like and it felt so real. It scared me, you know. It brought
felt his breath here.
It brought back nightmares. But it's very cool to see this in production. I think for some people it might be a little too much, but for other people it could be very fun. So the same thing with the 3D glasses. We all thought it'd be the best thing ever, but you know, it really wasn't as big a hit as we thought it would be. Maybe with Oculus Rift, I think it'll be more than the 3D glasses. So it just depends on how people can handle the motion of the game when you have this on.
I think that when a few years ago, when 3D movies became popular again, many people say, "Oh, 3D is so strange. It will never be popular because it's weird and it's more expensive and people." And now it's everywhere and it's just getting bigger. Now we have 4D and IMAX 3D. So I think that some people still feel a little queasy.
That's the problem. It's like some people like it, some people don't. It's hard to please everyone, but for people that can handle the emotion and handle the excitement and be able to focus your eyes far and close, it's a great experience. So I think with the Oculus Rift, everyone's going to try it.
I think that what would be interesting would be to have a gaming competition where you're playing with a thing like Oculus Rift, and the guys at home are watching it with something like a virtual rig too, you know, so they can feel, you know, what you're feeling with a monster coming, or you're killing somebody's, you know, the bullets are flying. So it's a more communal experience, right? It's a kind of like, it's like the Matrix. The Matrix is coming, right?
I feel sick.
I feel sick. Already?
I feel sick. Even with Nintendo 3DS, I feel sick.
Oh wow!
Really? Every
with the
time.
3DS?
Every time.
Yeah. It depends on your eyes and how you can take in the information and lock it in, because it is a different way of looking at the screen. You have to be like more open to the environment. You can't focus on one little thing. You need to open your eyes. So it's a skill you need to have, but most people can do it. You just refocus.
And all the kids can do it. You know, we're old. That's why we can.
We're old. We're old.
All the 10-year-old kids, they adapt instantly.
They're going to be wired a lot better.
Yeah, for sure. Finally, you have been in Brazil for a few days now. What you have been up to?
Everything. You know, eating all the Brazilian food, making some famous Brazilian drinks here with with the Bellini.
Caipirinhas and yes.
Yeah. And I had the mortadella.
Mortadella.
Mortadella
that's a monster. Yes.
Yeah. So I had that, and then I told the guys I need to go play some sports. So we played some soccer last night, and that was fun.
And you scored
2 goals. Yeah, 2.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks. I like to show that gamers can also play sports, you know.
So that's good because it ends with all those the
stereotype.
the stereotype.
Yeah. So like I said, a lot of the top pro gamers in the world are very competitive people. They are not weak. They are very competitive.
When people ask me about a game, who is the gamer? I say everybody's the gamer.
Yeah.
The 5-year-old kids and all the 50-year-old grandmas, they're playing on Facebook and they're playing Candy Crush, like everybody's playing. But then you have the gamers who aren't like anybody else. Pro gamers, best pro gamer in the world, Johnathan Wendel. Fatal1ty is here, and thanks for the interview, man.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Thank you, man.
Hope you don't get too sick.
Yeah.